Hi, I'm Carl Lehman.
And I'm Catherine Nash. We're the co-chairs of the Labor, Employment, and Higher Education Practice Group.
And we were asked to come up with some way to introduce the members of our practice group to the firm at the firm retreat. So we thought, what better way to do that than to ask other members of the firm who work closely with members of our group to talk about their favorite member of the LEHE group, their pet member.
And as you'll hear, the members of our group are so close to these other attorneys in the firm, it's almost like they're members of their family. First, we stopped by Quentin Whitrock's office to see what he had to say about his neighbor, Matthew Webster, an associate in the LEHE group.
So, Quentin, tell us, what are Matthew's three greatest qualities as an attorney?
I would say eager, colorful, and quick.
So when you're not doing work with Matthew, what do you like to do with him?
Eat, and I would say swim.
Okay, so what does Matthew like to eat?
Fish food.
Fish food? Did you say fish food?
It wouldn't be good for him to eat anything other than fish food.
Quentin, if the firm were to do something really nice for Matthew to thank him for all of his good work, what would be something we should do for him?
Find him a fish to be friends with.
Next, we sought out Katie Bitson, who told us about working with another of our associates, Megan Kanke.
Katie, I understand that Megan is your absolute favorite LEHE attorney.
Yes, she is.
What is Megan's best quality?
That's a good question. She hates to be told what to do. She has a mind of her own.
Anything else that makes her special?
You know, she loves my mom, and she won't even look at us because we're not as good as her.
How about Megan's work skills? What can you tell us about that?
She knows how to lie down and army crawl, and she can jump very high in the air.
Really? What do you mean?
Oh, she jumps up and barks in the air, and she twists. She does like a half twist in the air and comes down.
Any other special skills?
She runs into the bathroom and grabs the end of the toilet paper roll and runs.
From Katie, we went to speak with Joy Anderson about working with our senior litigator, Dean Ledoux.
We know you've worked with Dean for a number of years, so what's it like?
Now he's getting kind of elderly and he's extremely lazy, and you can put things on top of him and he just leaves them there.
If you were to talk with somebody at Great Plant Moody who hasn't worked with Dean in the past, what things would you say?
He has a lot of habits. Most of them are not amusing to me anymore. He sneezes all over my stuff a lot. That doesn't amuse me very much anymore.
I know exactly what you mean. Can you give me three adjectives that would best describe who Dean is?
I would call him furry, sleepy, and snuggly.
Snuggly? Whoa, how does that make you feel?
Feel sometimes irritated, but when he comes and sits in your lap and snuggles with you while you're working or reading or something, then he's wonderful.
When Dean does a good job for you, is there anything you like to do to show him, job well done?
We play with him with some small toys, ribbons and mice and things like that, and he runs after them really fast and pounces on them.
Next, we talked to Tom Johnson about working with Mark Matheson.
Hi, Tom. Thanks for meeting with us. Let me start by asking you, so what are your overall impressions of Mark?
He is a dog.
Yeah, we hear you. What else?
Oh, he's old.
Yep, but with age discrimination laws, our hands are kind of tied. What kinds of things does Mark enjoy doing away from work?
Sleep and eat, I would say, are his two favorite activities.
What kinds of things does Mark enjoy doing when he's not at work?
He hates being washed.
Is there anything that you'd say about Mark that's kind of quirky?
He doesn't eat food off the table.
To somebody who hasn't met Mark in the past, what would you say to describe his physical appearance?
He's so old, he's gotten gray. And he's gray around his mouth, so it looks like he's smiling. And so when I take him out walking and people see him coming, everyone smiles at him because they think he's smiling at them.
Don't you think that he really is a happy guy?
Even without the funny looking coloring around his mouth and the graying around his mouth. He's just happy. And it's good to know that when you get old, you can be happy.
Next, I went to Dave Balls to talk to him about Carl. How long have you worked with Carl?
Many years.
What are the qualities that make Carl a great lawyer?
I can't think of any right now.
Is there anything you can say about the quality of his work?
Occasion it would bite you.
Do the corporate lawyers have a nickname for Carl?
Peppy.
So Carl used to be on the 5th floor, officing next to you, and then he moved down to the 4th floor. Do you know why?
If things weren't going well.
Is there anything you can tell me about what went into that decision?
Go to the bathroom in the basement rather than outside.
Dave, what are 3 adjectives that you would use to describe Carl's personality?
Friendly, excitable, and loving.
Next, we checked in on Phil Bull regarding our newest partner, Sam Deal.
I know Sam has been an active, non-reporting member of your practice group. Can you tell me how he's acted at some of your practice group meetings?
First and foremost, he loves to eat. But he also likes to chase a ball that we throw, and he likes to sleep.
Did he ever do anything to get into hot water with your practice group?
He used to chew on our socks.
So how has he reacted to having to give him constructive criticism?
When he thinks we're not happy with him, he lays in his bed and looks very, very sad.
Any thoughts on Sam's personal hygiene?
He hates to get a bath, and he doesn't like to get his hair cut.
I next went to meet with Ashley Ewald to talk to her about working with Catherine. Let me first ask you, does your group have any nicknames for Catherine?
Lots of nicknames depending on if she's in trouble or not.
So what is the nickname that people use most for her?
Princess.
Well, tell me about Princess.
She is naughty. She steals people's food.
Are there any things that she does that aren't annoying?
She loves going for car rides and running away and making us catch her.
When you're working with Catherine, is there anything that she does to show you that she really appreciates your work?
She jumps around and barks, and then she rolls over and wants a tummy rub.
Give me 3 adjectives that would best describe Catherine's legal skills.
Feisty, smart, and furry.
If you had advice for a new attorney on how to stay on Catherine's good side, what would you tell them?
Give her a sandwich.
Next, we stopped by Richard Landon's office to talk with him about our newest practice group members, Jan and Keisha, since he was involved in their onboarding process.
Tell me first, let's talk about Jan. Any humorous impressions of her?
She was, I don't know if I'd call it funny, but she, for some reason, was very friendly with human males and very hostile to human females, which I found funny.
Well, how about Keisha? Any memories stand out from your time with her?
One of my favorite memories is of the sheer terror we had to go through when clipping her claws, which she was not very fond of.
Was it really hard to get through that part of the process?
We had to go in with full battle armor to try to clip her claws.
So how about Jan? Was there any part of the orientation process that she resisted?
She generally hated to be picked up by people.
Yeah, that's often a surprise part of the process. Back to Keisha. Were there any parts that she did like of the orientation process?
She loved to eat. That was, I'd say, her greatest joy.
Was there anything that Jan did that impressed you and made you feel like she was going to be a good fit for the firm?
She did still manage to catch a bird, despite never going outside, which I considered a very special trick.
And how about Keisha? Any overall impressions with her?
She always made me feel loved.
With our next practice group member, Megan Anderson, we went to talk to her next door neighbor, Sandy Badeau.
So Sandy, how would you best describe Megan?
She's like a breathing rug because she's so old.
How would you describe her as a next door neighbor? Has she done anything that's out of the ordinary?
Yes. She's eaten the drywall. She eats walls. And she pulls up carpet and eats the pad underneath. And she's chewed up my boots and some shoes.
That's crazy. How do you put up with that?
Well, anytime you have to take care of something else, another person or another animal, I think it makes you a better person.
If you didn't have to worry about Megan chewing up all your stuff, what would you do?
I would let her off the leash and let her run all over the park by our house. But
next, we stopped by Aaron Westbrook's office to talk about Pamela Kovacs.
Describe Pamela as a litigator.
She is a mix. She's part pit bull, part we don't know. We don't know exactly what she is.
I know what you mean. She is part pit bull, and the rest is kind of hard to get your head around.
Mm-hmm.
So when Pamela isn't working, where would you find her?
She loves to go to the park and play fetch. She also loves to jump up on the couch and snuggle. That's kind of her favorite. What else does she like to do? She likes to bark at the strangers that walk on the street.
Is there anything that Pamela doesn't like to do?
She pretty much likes to do everything, but she doesn't like to go to the groomer or get her nails clipped.
Last but not least, our two special counsel, Tana Van Gotham and Julie Giddings, required a very special interview.
So what activities do Tana and Julie like to do?
Oh my God, they loved to run up and down the hallway and race each other. It's fantastic.
Anything else?
Oh, you know, they like to have their head stuck out the window when they're driving, just stuff like that.
Do they do any tricks?
You know, I can make them speak, and I can make them stay, the typical, usual tricks that you'd expect to see.
When Tana and Julie do a really good job for you on a project, what do you do to show them that they did a great job?
You know, I'm a big supporter and fan of reinforcement, so I love to pat them on the back or pat them on the head when they do a good job and say, great job. And I also, you know, will take time to review their work and let them see my edits and my comments to their work.
Wait, are we talking about your pets?
What? I thought we were talking about Tana and Julie.
Well, as you can see, we're a little quirky.
Sometimes a little naughty.
But if you give us a chance, we will find a way to worm our way into your hearts.